Have you ever checked your bank account on the morning your Social Security payment was supposed to arrive, only to find that it wasn't there? No warning, no email, no phone call, just an account balance that looked completely different from what you expected. For many beneficiaries, that's one of the most stressful moments of the month. And while most delayed payments have a simple explanation, there are now several important direct deposit updates and security practices that every Social Security beneficiary should understand. Because overlooking even one small detail could lead to unnecessary delays, confusion, or make you a target for scammers. Today's video is about 3 important direct deposit updates that every beneficiary should know in 2026. These aren't complicated financial tricks. They're practical updates that can help you keep your benefits flowing smoothly, avoid common mistakes, and better protect your information. One of these updates takes less than 5 minutes to check, yet many people don't realize how important it can be until after a payment problem happens. Another has become increasingly important because scammers are taking advantage of confusion surrounding direct deposits and payment schedules. And the third may completely change the way you prepare for your monthly Social Security payment. So I encourage you to stay with me until the end because each update builds on the one before it. And together, they create a much clearer picture of how to protect your benefits. Before we begin, welcome back to Preston USA, where we break down Social Security, Medicare, retirement benefits, and financial updates into clear, easy-to-understand information designed especially for seniors and retirees. If that's the kind of information you're looking for, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our future updates. Now let's begin with some important background. Over the past several years, the Social Security Administration has continued expanding the use of electronic payments. Direct deposit has become the standard payment method for the overwhelming majority of beneficiaries because it's generally faster, more reliable, and significantly more secure than receiving paper checks through the mail. Electronic payments also reduce delays caused by weather, postal issues, lost mail, or stolen checks. But as more payments move electronically, something else has changed. Protecting your banking information has become just as important as receiving your monthly benefit. A small mistake in your payment information, an outdated bank account, or even responding to the wrong phone call can create problems that many beneficiaries never expected. That's exactly why understanding today's 3 updates matters. These aren't meant to scare you. They're designed to help you stay informed so you know what to look for before a small issue becomes a much bigger one. Here's what we'll cover today. First, we'll discuss an important update involving direct deposit information and why reviewing your payment details periodically is becoming more important than many people realize. Second, we'll talk about one of the fastest growing scams targeting Social Security beneficiaries and the simple rule that can help protect your benefits. Finally, we'll explain an important payment timing reminder that can prevent unnecessary panic if your deposit doesn't appear exactly when you expected. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what steps you can take to better protect your monthly Social Security payments and avoid some of the most common problems beneficiaries face. So let's start with the first update, because this is the one many people assume they've already taken care of, when in reality, circumstances can change over time without them ever realizing it. Let's begin with the first update. At first, it may sound incredibly simple. In fact, you might even think, I've been receiving my Social Security payment by direct deposit for years. Why would I need to check anything? And that's exactly why this update deserves your attention. Because the issue usually isn't that someone forgot to sign up for direct deposit. The issue is that life changes. Banks merge, branches close, people open new checking accounts, debit cards expire, financial institutions update internal systems, and sometimes beneficiaries move their money to a completely different bank without realizing that their Social Security records also need to reflect those changes. Everything may continue working perfectly until one month it doesn't. That's when many people suddenly discover there was outdated information connected to their benefit record. The important thing to remember is this: the Social Security Administration can only send your payment using the banking information currently on your record. If that information is outdated, incomplete, or no longer matches your active account, your payment could be delayed while the issue is resolved. That's why one of the smartest habits every beneficiary can develop is periodically reviewing the direct deposit information connected to their Social Security account, especially after making any banking changes. Now, let's be clear. This doesn't mean everyone needs to update their information every month. If nothing has changed, there's usually nothing to update. But if you've changed banks, opened a new checking account, closed an old account, or recently updated your financial information, it's worth taking a few minutes to make sure your Social Security payment details are still correct. Think about this example. Imagine a retiree named Linda. For years, her monthly payment arrived without any issues. Then her local bank was acquired by another institution. Her account number eventually changed during the transition. Everything seemed normal because her debit card still worked and she continued using the same branch. Months later, when her Social Security payment was expected, she noticed it hadn't arrived. The payment itself wasn't necessarily lost. The problem was that her payment information no longer matched the account she was actively using. Situations like this don't happen to everyone, but they happen often enough that it's worth checking your information before there's a problem instead of after one. Fortunately, reviewing your payment information is straightforward. If you already have a My Social Security account, you can sign in securely and review the banking information associated with your benefits. If you don't use an online account, you can also contact the Social Security Administration directly and ask a representative to confirm the payment information currently on file. The goal isn't to make unnecessary changes. The goal is simply to verify that everything still matches your active banking information. Many financial experts recommend doing this anytime there's a major banking change rather than waiting until your next payment is due. It only takes a few minutes, but it can provide valuable peace of mind. There's another reason this matters. Many beneficiaries assume that if their last payment arrived successfully, everything must still be correct. Most of the time, that's true. But circumstances can change between payment cycles. That's why reviewing your information after changing banks or whenever you update your financial accounts is a good habit. Now, before we move to the second update, there's something even more important you need to know. Ironically, direct deposit itself isn't becoming less secure. In many ways, it's more secure than ever. The real danger comes from people pretending they need to help you protect your payment. And that's exactly what we're covering next. Because thousands of beneficiaries receive convincing phone calls, emails, and text messages every year from criminals pretending to represent the government. Knowing how those scams work could make the difference between protecting your benefits and giving away the information scammers are hoping to steal. Now let's move to the second update, and in my opinion, this is the one every Social Security beneficiary should pay the closest attention to, because this update isn't really about the payment system itself. It's about the people trying to exploit it. Over the past few years, scammers have become much more sophisticated. Instead of sending obvious scam emails filled with spelling mistakes, they're now using information that makes their calls sound surprisingly believable. Some already know your name. Some know your city. Some may even know that you're receiving retirement benefits. And that's exactly what makes these scams so dangerous. Imagine your phone rings one afternoon. The caller introduces themselves as someone from the Social Security Administration or another government office handling federal payments. They speak calmly, professionally. They don't sound suspicious. Then they tell you something like this. We're calling because we need to verify your direct deposit information to prevent an interruption in your upcoming Social Security payment. If you're expecting your monthly deposit soon, that message can immediately get your attention. After all, nobody wants their retirement income delayed. That's exactly what scammers are counting on. They don't start by asking for money. They start by creating concern. Once they've convinced someone that a payment might be at risk, they begin asking for personal information. It might be your bank account number, your routing number, a one-time security code sent to your phone, your Social Security number, or even your online account credentials. Each question sounds small by itself, but together, that information can give criminals access to things they should never have. That's why there's one rule every beneficiary should remember. Never provide sensitive financial or personal information because someone contacted you first. It doesn't matter how official they sound. It doesn't matter if the caller ID appears legitimate. Technology today allows scammers to make phone numbers look almost identical to trusted organizations. The number on your screen is not proof of who's actually calling. Instead, if someone claims to represent the Social Security Administration and says your benefits are at risk, end the conversation politely. Then locate the official Social Security contact information yourself and reach out using a trusted source. That simple habit puts you back in control. Another tactic scammers often use is urgency. They may say, "You must act today. Your payment could be suspended. Your account will be locked unless you verify your information immediately." When people feel rushed, they naturally become more likely to make decisions without stopping to think. That's exactly the emotional response scammers hope to create. Real government agencies generally provide official instructions through established communication channels and give people an opportunity to respond appropriately if someone pressures you into making an immediate decision over the phone. Treat that situation with extreme caution. Here's another protective step many experts recommend. Create your own secure online My Social Security account if you haven't already. Having your own account makes it easier to review your benefit information, monitor changes, and manage your records through official channels. It also reduces the chance that someone else could attempt to create an account in your name before you do. Just remember, when creating or accessing your account, always type the official website address yourself instead of clicking links received through unexpected emails or text messages. That extra few seconds can help you avoid fraudulent websites designed to steal login information. Now, I know some viewers might be thinking, "I've never answered those kinds of calls before, so I'm probably safe." And hopefully that's true. But scammers don't give up after one attempt. They constantly change their approach. One month it may be a phone call. The next month it could be a text message, then an email, or even a letter designed to look official. That's why the safest habit isn't simply recognizing one scam. It's knowing that any unexpected request for personal financial information deserves careful verification before you respond. Fortunately, the third and final update isn't about scammers at all. It's about something that causes unnecessary panic for thousands of beneficiaries every single month. A payment date arrives, the deposit doesn't immediately appear, and within hours, people begin wondering whether something has gone wrong. In many cases, the explanation is much simpler than they realize. Let's talk about that next. Now we've reached the third and final update, and while this one may seem less dramatic than the others, it has the potential to save you a great deal of unnecessary stress. Every month, thousands of Social Security beneficiaries check their bank accounts early in the morning expecting to see their deposit. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it isn't. The moment that happens, many people immediately assume something has gone wrong. They begin searching online, calling family members, or worse, responding to anyone who claims they can help. But here's something every beneficiary should remember. A payment that hasn't appeared yet doesn't automatically mean your benefit has been lost. There are several perfectly normal reasons why a deposit may appear later than expected. That's why understanding your payment schedule is so important. If you know exactly when your payment is supposed to arrive, you're much less likely to panic if there's a temporary delay. Here's a quick reminder of how Social Security payment schedules generally work. If you receive Supplemental Security Income, SSI, your payment is generally scheduled for the first day of the month. If the first falls on a weekend or a federal holiday, payments are usually issued on the previous business day. If you started receiving Social Security benefits before May 1997, or if you receive both Social Security and SSI, your Social Security payment is generally scheduled around the third day of the month, with adjustments made when weekends or federal holidays affect the calendar. For most other retirement beneficiaries, payment dates are based on your birthday. If your birthday falls between the 1st and the 10th, your payment is generally scheduled for the second Wednesday of the month. If your birthday falls between the 11th and the 20th, your payment is usually scheduled for the third Wednesday. And if your birthday falls between the 21st and the end of the month, your payment is typically scheduled for the fourth Wednesday. Knowing your own payment date removes much of the uncertainty. In fact, one of the easiest things you can do today is place a recurring reminder on your calendar. Whether you prefer using your phone, a paper planner, or a wall calendar in your kitchen, Mark your expected payment date every month. That simple reminder helps you recognize when a payment is actually late and when it's simply following the normal schedule. Now let's talk about another situation that creates confusion. Suppose your payment date arrives. You check your account, and nothing has appeared yet. What's the best response? Financial professionals often recommend staying calm and allowing a little time before assuming the worst. Sometimes deposits are delayed because of routine bank processing times. Different financial institutions may post electronic deposits at different times during the day. Some banks even process deposits overnight, while others may not make funds available until later. That's why a missing deposit early in the morning doesn't necessarily mean it's missing altogether. If your payment still hasn't arrived after a reasonable amount of time, your first call should usually be to your bank. Ask whether there's a pending deposit or whether they're experiencing any processing delays. In many cases, the bank can answer your question immediately. If your bank confirms they haven't received the payment and you believe there may truly be a problem, then it's appropriate to contact the Social Security Administration using the official contact information listed on the SSA website. Always use contact information that you obtain independently. Avoid calling phone numbers sent through unexpected text messages, emails, or provided by unsolicited callers. That's another simple habit that helps protect your personal information. There's one more point I'd like to mention. Scammers understand the payment calendar almost as well as beneficiaries do. They know when millions of Americans are expecting their monthly benefits. Unfortunately, some criminals time their phone calls or text messages to arrive during those same periods of uncertainty. If someone contacts you claiming they can release your payment, speed up your deposit, or fix a supposed problem immediately, take a moment to pause. Remember everything we've discussed today. Verify the information yourself before taking any action. A few extra minutes spent confirming information through official channels can prevent weeks or even months of frustration later. We've now covered all 3 important updates. But before you leave, I'd like to bring everything together into one simple action plan that every Social Security beneficiary can follow. Because knowing the information is one thing, actually using it is what helps protect your benefits. Before we wrap up today's video, let's take a moment to put everything we've discussed into one simple action plan. Because information only becomes valuable when you actually use it. If you can remember these 3 updates, you'll be in a much better position to protect your Social Security benefits and avoid many of the problems that catch beneficiaries off guard. Let's review them one more time. Update number 1. Review your direct deposit information whenever your banking situation changes. If you've recently switched banks, opened a new checking account, closed an old account, or updated your financial information, don't assume your Social Security records automatically changed too. Take a few minutes to review your direct deposit information through your My Social Security account or contact the Social Security Administration using their official phone number if you need assistance. A quick review today could help prevent unnecessary payment delays later. Update number 2. Protect yourself from direct deposit scams. Remember this simple rule. If someone contacts you unexpectedly asking you to verify your bank account, provide a security code, or confirm personal financial information. Stop. Don't make a decision based on pressure. Instead, end the conversation and contact the Social Security Administration yourself using official contact information. Scammers become more convincing every year, but slowing down and verifying information independently remains one of the best ways to protect yourself. Update number 3. Know your payment schedule before your payment date arrives. Write it down. Put it on your calendar. Set a reminder on your phone. When you know exactly when your payment is expected, you're less likely to panic if processing times vary or a weekend or holiday affects the payment schedule. And if your payment doesn't appear when expected, start by contacting your financial institution to ask whether there's a processing delay. If necessary, follow up with the Social Security Administration using official contact information. Taking those steps in the right order can save both time and unnecessary stress. Now, I'd like to leave you with one final thought. Most Social Security problems don't happen because beneficiaries make careless decisions. They happen because rules change, technology changes, scammers change, and people simply aren't told what they need to know until after something goes wrong. That's exactly why staying informed matters. Even spending a few minutes each month reviewing your financial information and understanding how your benefits work can make a meaningful difference over time. If today's video helped you better understand these direct deposit updates, I have a small favor to ask. Take just a few seconds to share this video with someone else who receives Social Security benefits. It could be a spouse, a parent, a neighbor, a friend from church, or anyone who depends on these monthly payments. Sometimes one conversation is all it takes to help someone avoid unnecessary confusion or even prevent them from becoming the target of a scam. And if you enjoy straightforward, easy-to-understand updates about Social Security, Medicare, retirement planning, and other important financial topics affecting older Americans, make sure you subscribe to Preston USA and turn on the notification bell. We publish new videos designed to help you stay informed, understand important updates, and make confident financial decisions throughout retirement. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever experienced a delay with your Social Security direct deposit? Or have you ever received a suspicious phone call claiming to be from the government? Share your experience in the comments below. Your story could help another viewer recognize a warning sign before it's too late. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. I truly appreciate every one of you. Stay informed, stay safe, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video.